are the Stop Wearing My Clothes podcast. I'm Amy.
I'm Kayla. One podcast,
two sisters. This is episode 60, Bachelor Recap Week 10 finale.
Whoop whoop!
Before that, Love is Blind recap and Bachelor news. Let's get into the episode.
Let's do it.
Hey, yo.
Hey. So we are now at the end of Zach's season, and it's starting to be Love is Blind season, so we are recapping both. But first, we got your happy and annoyed segment. I don't know if you're happy or annoyed about, but we're going to still do it, at least for a little while. So, Amy, do you have a happy for the week?
My happy is that Kate Bosworth and Justin Long got engaged. Like, they've been together for so long, and they just seem like the sweetest couple ever, and I'm just super excited that they're engaged.
Yeah, I love them. I shared a picture of them not too long ago at the Vanity Fair party after the Oscars of him, like, fixing her dress for the pictures and stuff. And it's just like, that's the type of guy you need.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, did you know he's a huge Bachelor fan?
No. Hey, Justin, you listening?
I know. He goes on other Bachelor podcasts. He's on my short list if we ever get to a place where Justin Long would even think about coming on a podcast. But you got to manifest it once we're to the hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
My happy is Gabby and Rachel were seen filming Charity's season. So they're going to host a group date. So we are going to see those two lovely faces again. I think it's kind of funny, though. Like, they're just together no matter what. Any appearance that they do, they just, like, have. I'm sure it's like, oh, they could catch up because they don't, like, live in the same. Oh, wait. Gabby just moved to LA. So now Rachel and Gabby are in the same city. So maybe we'll see them together more in their, like, day-to-day personal life. But I bet I'm, like, curious if they ever wish that, like, well, what if it's just Gabby or what if it's just Rachel? Like, they're just kind of like a package duo. I guess kind of like we are.
Yeah, that's totally true. I don't know. I bet they like each other enough that I think that they probably just like feed off of each other and have fun with it.
Totally. So something to look forward to, a Charity season. I mean, I'm already looking forward to it, but add some Gabby and Rachel spice. I'm here for it.
And we got that little preview of Charity season on The Bachelor last night of her brother coming in, and that was freaking hilarious. So he's going to be the undercover brother.
I'm so excited. I'm really pumped. And it's exciting because I just wasn't excited for Zach's season at all. And now even hindsight's 2020, as Tom Sandoval says, that's for a different podcast. Bravo banter. But still not excited about it, and the season's done. But yes, I'm very excited. There was actually Jason Tartick tweeted last night and was like, how about we just cancel The Bachelor and only have The Bachelorette and do Charity first, because I still want to see Charity, then Ariel after that, and then Gabby after that. And also give Gabby some time to heal, and also maybe just work on herself a little bit and her self-confidence, because she's amazing and she should know that.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Leading into the annoyed, that's perfect because, okay, they gave Sean Lowe and Catherine like 20 minutes of talking, which they're fine, whatever. But if they were going to use that time, it should have been used for Gabby and Zach to have a conversation. They completely cut them off, and it was ridiculous. So that annoyed me. But then also, I have a double annoyed this week. Harry Styles and Emily Ratajkowski. I don't know how to say her last name.
I think Ratajkowski. Something like that.
So they were seen making out. And it's like, okay, whatever. People can hate it. People can like it. But she is getting shamed so hardcore. Like, people are saying mean things to her.
Why? Her age? Because she's a little older than him?
Because she's a mom and she just got divorced. And now she's had like 3 different guys or something like that. But then on top of that, what's really weird is that she, like, a month ago was with Olivia Wilde at the Vanity Fair party.
Gotcha. So there's
that's
like
weird.
a friendship there. Yeah, at first I heard rumors that it was Harry and Olivia who invited Emily for a threesome. And then I heard now that Emily is like begging for Olivia's forgiveness, like a Page 6 article or something. So
I saw that too.
With that. But good for her. Don't mom and slut shame her. Like, she can have a kid and do whatever she wants. If I was her and I was now single, and I could make out with Harry Styles, that's the first thing I do on my list.
Well, apparently she could have always made out with Harry Styles, though, because did you see 8 years ago, he was asked what his celebrity crush was, and he said her.
I saw an article. I didn't actually watch the video, but oh my God. Yeah, it's a full
Mhm,
circle moment. I'm happy for Harry. I'm happy for Emily, everyone in the situation. Olivia and Harry are not together anymore. She
mhm.
can't dictate what the only other thing is I just don't know about their Olivia and Emily's friendship. So that's
Yeah.
the only kind of question mark I have if that's like
Mhm.
crossing a line. I just don't
Yeah.
know the parameters of their
Yeah, I don't
friendship.
either.
But jaw on the ground when I saw it, and also just the actual just picture of it, the visual, not just like,
Mhm.
oh, this scene or whatever.
It was a makeout.
It was a makeout
It
and
was
we
a
saw
butt
it
grab.
all. Yeah, I loved it. I loved every second of it. My annoyed is Micah and Irina from Love is Blind. And we'll actually hop right into the recap after this. But Micah and Irina, as soon as the backlash happened, I believe it was on Us Weekly, they posted or they had like an article come out saying that their mean girling or whatever you want to call it was a coping mechanism because of the hardships of Love is Blind. Okay. And then just literally an hour or so ago, Micah posted on her Instagram a statement that I will read, and I want to know your
Oh
opinion.
gosh. All right, let's hear it.
A small note, dot, dot, dot. So, and it's like also uh, like a not even a color. It's like almost like a gradient color. It's very dramatic. I have apologized privately to the people that were hurt on the show by my hands. I would like to apologize publicly. An emotional immaturity was shown, and I will grow from it. To the viewers I've hurt, I'm sorry I've triggered so many of you with my behavior. Seeing that person on the screen would make me feel the same anger. As to my comments being off, I will turn them on in time. I am doing my best to protect my mental health, deserved or not. It has always been something I've struggled with, and I know I cannot better myself if I'm more unwell mentally. I hope you understand that I'm taking accountability privately, and I promise to do better in the future. Like,
Hmm.
let me get this across first. Like, mental health. I mean, I'm a hot mess all the time. Even just today, I'm having a bad day, and so I'm not gonna like comment on that. Like, I will. I'm not someone who will send hate. Even if I am annoyed by her and Micah, I'm not someone who would do that. But this is like the first half. Let's take the mental health off the thing because that's like a whole other thing. And I'm happy she turned off her comments. You've got to do what you got to do,
Mhm.
and I just feel like this is a weird statement. As like it to the I'm sorry I've triggered you. It's more like putting it on us.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I just what I from what I've seen from her on the show and how I'm feeling about these this is her second kind of more individual apology versus the one with Irina. I think it's more of a sorry I got caught versus sorry I behaved that way. I don't know.
Mhm.
What are your thoughts?
From the beginning, I was just like, "What in the heck is up with these girls?"
It's intense.
Um,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. You just got called out on who you are as a person, and now you do need to see that and you do need to change. Yes, but I don't think that that was an accident or um anything besides showing their true character personally, because like the way that they were acting was so uncalled for, so immature. Let's just like get into it. Can we talk about?
Yes. Let's do it.
Okay, so the first time that I noticed was when Paul broke up with Amber. Amber is super heartbroken, like literally so upset, is going away to their own private area. And Irina and Micah are laughing and giggling and like trying to eavesdrop. And it's just like, it was so rude. Like, do you have no empathy in your soul? Like,
Oh,
what is
same. And
wrong?
with Jacquelina too, when she was upset crying on the couch and they were like giggling.
Mm-hmm.
And Kayla Thompson, who I work at Shared News with, we just had a discussion on this. And I actually think she brought up a really good point. Past seasons, you don't really see much of the women's quarters and them interacting. So I
Mm-hmm.
think in their heads, they don't think that this is going to get aired.
You know, I see that because I was like, this is like a whole new dynamic to Love is Blind that we actually normally don't see. So I was
Exactly.
like, you guys are, so I guess that's true. So they just like, we're going to act how we want and hopefully no one will see this.
Yeah, and then with like Irina asking Blisk for the birthday candle and just like the outrageous stuff that they were doing. And like they had no shame. They were just like a little Regina George and Gretchen from Mean Girls. It was just
Mhm.
like
It was so
It
obvious,
was
and anytime anyone was upset, like, oh, you guys are like rolling their eyes, just like, come on.
It was awful. Yeah, I
Mhm.
completely agree. And I kind of was trying to figure out what's the best way to recap Love is Blind, but I thought we could just like go through each engaged couple and kind of their journey and kind of our thoughts behind that. But I had to bring up Micah and Arena because they were kind of a couple of the season to talk about too.
Seriously,
And the
yeah.
fact that these two also were engaged and got engaged to people for them to move on, I mean, I think it was kind of a plan between the two of them. They were going to do whatever it took together to get to that next step.
Okay. Well, let's just move on before I have something else to say about that. But okay.
All right. So I was thinking, let's talk Brett and Tiffany.
Okay. Loves of their lives. I'm obsessed.
It makes me so happy.
And Brett, I think, is so freaking attractive. He's very good looking. He's a man. Yeah. So I was like totally in on them. But then when he was saying like how in love he was with her, she fell asleep. And I was like, oh no. But I think she just drank a little too much.
Maybe that. And like try to I'm pretty sure like they like you get up at like 5 a.m. You do hours of interviews. It's like almost like getting interrogated, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of like your just voice is so soothing. Maybe it just like let her like relax. Like he got mad though. So I was a little worried for like a second, but it seemed like they needed to sleep on it. Well, someone was already asleep, but Brett had to sleep on it, and he still got she still got the ring.
Well, he didn't realize she fell asleep though. He thought she just left. He didn't even know she was sleeping.
Oh, was that
That's why he was so mad.
Oh.
Yeah, he had no idea she was sleeping. He was just like, where'd you go? You literally just walked out while I was saying how I felt about you? Like, what is wrong with you? I think I'd feel the same way. I'd be really hurt and like, what the crap? Who is this person? But when they woke her up, I personally just thought she seemed a little. And they were like, oh, let's get you some water. Like, I think that she just passed out.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So funny. Yeah. Well, it's free booze.
I mean, they're just sitting in there all day, I'm sure. And then you get really cozy. Even after like one drink, you get really cozy and you just kind of
lay all warm. There's like a blanket. For sure. So, I mean, I think they're in it for the long haul. I think they're going to get married. I think they're both going to say yes. And I think they're going to be like the new mom and dad of Love is Blind, like with like Lauren and Cameron from season 1. I don't think there's been a couple as beloved as them. And I think they're going to be on par with that. And I do want to just say really quick, our predictions. No, we did not predict one couple. But something I think is interesting is we predicted a majority of the individuals that would get engaged. We just met them with different people. So I think that is interesting. So we didn't do Tiffany, but Brett, Micah,
Chelsea.
Did we do Chelsea?
I'm pretty sure we did Chelsea.
Chelsea, yeah. So and Kwame. So we called some of that at least, but people are calling us out in the comments on TikTok. None of them. I'm like, well, that's why it's called a prediction. Little bitches on there. Okay. Then we have Kwame and Chelsea.
Yeah. So Kwame was with Micah at first, and he wanted Micah all the way. He wanted her bad, bad, bad. And then she rejected him. The whole time during that, though, Chelsea wanted Kwame bad, 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 bad. Like, obsessed with him. And so, I mean, I get why Kwame, like, still went with Chelsea, but at the same time, it does kind of feel second choice for sure. And, like, the things he always says he likes about her is that she reassures him so much and loves him so much. But, like, is that really what you base a relationship on? Shouldn't it be, like, how you guys both make each other feel?
Yeah, remind me if I've brought this up on the podcast before or if it's just a conversation I've had with someone else. It's a red flag if someone asks you, like, you're meeting their significant other's family member or something, and they're like, what do you love most about Kayla? And they're like, I love that she makes me feel this, this, and this, all about you. Versus I love that she's independent. I love the way she laughs. I love, exactly something like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I see with Kwame.
His feelings change a lot.
It's about how he's made to feel, not what he loves about that individual person. And just to call out for Bachelor, Zach, say what? Red flag. He doesn't miss a beat and gets engaged to Chelsea, and it's just like wrong from the very beginning. But they go to Mexico. I mean, their physical side of the relationship starts hard and fast. And it's just, I feel like Kwame, anytime he doesn't want to answer anything or gets uncomfortable, he just does like that laugh. So he doesn't have to respond.
Totally.
And then it goes.
There's a lot of laughing going on.
And then it goes to the part where this is the most interesting part, I think, of every season, is when.
I kind of hate it though, because I feel like it's just setting them up for failure. I think it's kind of rude a little bit.
But I mean, it's real life, and it's
That's true.
You're going to meet these people eventually. So they all get together. So they see there's some love triangles that have gone on with different people. And Micah did say ahead of time to Chelsea, it was like, hey, I do think I want like a conversation of closure. And I thought they had.
You mean Kwame said that to Chelsea?
Yes. I don't know what I said, but yes, That's what I meant. And they ended up having like kind of more of a quicker chat, but still like sketch. They
hugged extra.
Yeah.
They were definitely talking about how their relationship went and how much they cared for each other and all that versus just like.
And I was okay with that. It's still a little sketch, but it was the second pool conversation that was so out of line and disrespectful and wild. And, we talk about Micah and Irina, just doing things to stay on the show. That's exactly what Kwame did too, I think. So when Micah said no, he's like, okay, well, at least I still have Chelsea and I can go further on the show. And I think he's using Chelsea. And I think it was very obvious in that conversation, they were not closing the door on each other. And
no, they were opening it wide.
Body language. Tell me what you thought.
Yeah, Micah was literally saying that she like loves him. I think they said I love you. I think she said I love you.
I think so too.
Because he was offended because she made a joke about a failed engagement. So they had to have a big talk about it.
That was just
whatever.
An excuse.
Yeah. I mean, even from the beginning, like, oh, let's get shots with them. Oh, yeah. And Irina was like setting it up too.
Yeah.
It was just like
so messy.
Which she has ulterior motives. We'll move on to that later.
We will talk about that.
But no, it was so inappropriate. If that happened near me, I would just like
to say they were a few feet away from Chelsea, his fiance. So it was just and also
they were giggling and just like it was a long conversation.
Yeah, and even worse than that, I think it's also like embarrassing for Chelsea seeing that other people are seeing this too, and it's just like, oh my god, I'm so humiliated. She forgives him.
And he does seem like he kind of turns a leaf a little bit because the next time that they're all together, he is a little bit more standoffish towards her and is very coupley with Chelsea. It's
all fake though, and it's not going to last. Yeah. And he's a snake in the grass.
Yeah.
Snake in the grass. I don't like him. I think Chelsea's very genuine and she's going to get her heart broken.
Oh, yeah. I think she's intense, but I think it's very real. I think one of the other girls even said that. Like, she is a lot, but like, she feels a lot. She expresses a lot and all that.
She's ready for this time in her life, and I don't think Kwame is. He just wanted to get on TV. And give me your predictions of what's going to happen with them.
I don't even know if they'll make it to the altar. I don't think they'll make it to the altar.
Really? I do. And it's just between if it's going to go the way I want it to or the way it's not. It could be like Kwame says no, Chelsea says yes, and it's horrible and she's heartbroken and he's like enemy number one. Or I'm hoping that Kwame says yes just because he just wants that little extra bit of fame after they're done filming. And Chelsea's like, no, I deserve better. That's what I hope happens.
I agree. My full prediction though involves another couple, so we can move on to them next. But like, I think that Paul is going to go with Irina, and I think that Micah is going to be heartbroken as much as she can be.
Paul and Irina are actually going to get together,
or like even if it's like a get together, like sexual thing. I don't know, but just like some sort of get together. Micah is gonna be like, oh, da, 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 da. And then Kwame is gonna be like, oh, I hear about this. I got it. Yeah, for sure. That's what I think is gonna happen. Whether it is before, I think it's gonna be before the wedding part, but I don't know because they all live in the same building, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so that's what I think is gonna happen. So let's go from now to Micah and Paul.
That switcheroo really got me. I did not see them together in any sense. And I don't know, the intentions for both seemed off. Paul was not as into Micah until he heard Kwame being so into Micah. And it was like this animalistic, like out in the jungle, like man primal thing of like, I must win the lady, you know?
Yeah.
And then completely just cuts things off with Amber. And then it's just such a switcheroo from Micah, who was all in on Kwame and basically told him it's you, but let's just keep going, dating other people. And then she ends up with Paul. Question about, like, Paul was the one we compared to my husband. What do you think now so far after like seeing him?
I still see it, actually.
Oh, I think they have a similar look. They are both very analytical and stuff like that. And I actually think like he's the hottest one to me in the group. So I think that says it.
Yeah. Do you think that Micah is physically attracted to him?
I just think it's kind of like a Marshall and Jacquelina situation where it's just like so not who she would normally go for. But I think that's good in that situation. I think this is why, the people with good intentions go to the show, because it hasn't been working for whatever they've been doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I feel like when Micah and Paul went on their little like ATV date, though, it was not fun.
Yeah.
Like, she was just complaining the entire time, and he was like trying to have fun.
They have very different interests.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get sick of her, and that's why I think he will be open to the Irina thing, maybe.
Well, Paul said he only dates witches.
Oh yeah. No, people that like live in. He's
Big
like, the last people I dated. Yeah.
So I think Irina is perfect.
Well, be which?
All right. Then we have. Let's go to Zach and Irina first.
Okay. Zach.
Okay, let's talk about the love triangle with Bliss.
Okay. I actually think that Zach is an idiot for choosing Irina in the first place.
I think it was maybe producer driven. Having Irina stay in the show is a lot more drama. And he was really, it could have just been one comment from a producer that helped sway him, because he did seem like really like in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So the engagement.
No, never seeing. I couldn't.
It was long. It was like.
She should have said no when she heard that.
Knowing her too, it was like such a ick for her. I know it was. And she said yes anyway, because that shows how inauthentic she is in that relationship and her intentions on the show. And
okay, but what do you think about Zach as an actual human, though? Because I've been very confused. In the pods, I was like, okay, like, he seems like a really genuine, like, nice guy. Yeah, he's kind of weird, but, like, nice. But then, coming out of it, everyone hates him. So is he terrible?
I think it's
or is
more
he
of
just
a
weird
thing, and he's just a little bit of the odd man out. I think he's handsome. Yeah, he's a little quirky and weird, but like, who wants like? That's endearing. I don't know. I didn't see why, like, especially Jacquelina was like, I don't like that man.
I know, exactly. So I was like, do you just not like the way he looks, or do you, like, is there something about him that's really off-putting and like not nice?
I think he's not for everybody.
Okay.
And I think, I just think he's not for everybody. And I think also with him and Irina is just like, what the heck is? I think people are just like really.
Oh, him and Irina was terrible. Yeah. Anything he did. Stop that. Stop staring at me. Stop. You look like a
When she
said you look like a cartoon character, I was like, dude, how he's like, I think it might be a compliment. No.
Yeah, it was probably the worst reveal I think ever. And in their like truth bomb conversation we'll talk about, one of the things she said, she's like, I wanted to leave you right when I saw you.
No, that was the weirdest breakup ever. And it's like breaking up made them get along and have fun
exactly.
again.
They were buds.
Because I loved it once they were broken up. They were like hilarious together.
Yes. Yeah. And this is the first time an engaged couple is broken up in Mexico before even living together. And
false.
No.
They got into a huge fight at the
very first season.
Diamond.
Very first season, Diamond and the other guy, because he didn't tell her that he was bisexual or something. I don't know. It was all like weird. But even though I like Diamond, she was on Perfect Match.
So so they break up in bed, and it's hilarious because actually let's go back from that.
Pool party.
During the pool party, freaking Irina is just with Paul doing handshakes, getting like very touchy, very close, very weird. I don't know how Micah hasn't even noticed that yet. She's too freaking. Yeah, she's too
I don't
distracted
think
with
she cares.
Kwame, I guess. Yeah, I don't think she cares either. But anyway, so that, like, multiple times she was flirting hardcore, very obvious, very open about it. And Zach saw it, and that's sad.
Mhm.
And then Zach basically says to her, like, if you can't get over the fact that you're not physically attracted to me, then, like, let's just be done.
Yeah.
She lays there, doesn't say a
I
word.
know. I know. And then eventually they're like, I think she started like, let's just not sit by each other on the plane home. And he's like, yeah, let's just call it. And so they call it and have the most amazing Love is Blind conversation I think that has ever been filmed.
He was like, this has been the effing worst. Like, I have hated every moment of this.
He's like, oh, you're so mean. She's like, well, if I'm going to do the truth bombs, I want to leave you as soon as I saw you. And he's like, yeah, it's like, oh, you're going to go after like Paul now? And she's like, oh, saying her intentions with Paul. And he's like, oh, watch out for Arena, breaking up couples.
Yeah, it's like with your best friend's man.
Yeah, so sketch. But that scene had me. I'm like obsessed with them actually. Just like they're off. I mean, she's awful, but I also can't wait to see just the pandemonium that happens. Like they're going to, and then we see at the end of like the episodes released that Zach meets up with Bliss when he gets back in town.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's gonna go well.
Do. Remember that preview right in the beginning where he's proposing on a boat and it says, I should have chosen you. It was a white guy with brown hair. I thought it was Paul at first, but I think it is Zach proposing to Bliss.
Oh, I would be down for that.
I do too. It's gonna be a hard pill for her to swallow, like Bliss, but it also is such a unique experiment that it's hard to like. Yeah, it's kind of second choice, but there's so many other elements, and I don't know. Maybe they could get past that because I think she really did love him, and I think he really loved her. Mm-hmm. Irina was just a show and he got tricked by her, and Bliss knows how Irina is, so maybe she'll like be more understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The next half of the season is going to be freaking wild.
I'm so excited. I want to talk about Marshall and Jacquelina.
Oh, yes. Jacquelina. I love her, but this is one thing I have to say. She gives me Janice vibes.
From Friends?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
Love Marshall and Jacquelina so much. I think Marshall
They're so
is
fun.
Exactly what Jacquelina needs. But she's going to break that poor boy's heart.
Oh,
I really do. I just don't. I think she's afraid of him. She doesn't. Maybe like just some kind of inwards looking of like she's not sure if she's worthy of him. Like those self doubts and like being so different from what she's used to. But he is such a good man. Like I cannot wait.
And I think he's cute.
So cute. And I cannot wait till he is on Perfect Match. I want him to be one of the first like 10.
Oh yeah.
Like I love him so much and he deserves the world. And I love Jacquelina. I think they could be really cute if they got past some of her internal hurdles.
Mean, he was really there for her when she had that meltdown though. Like really
He's
there
too good
for her.
For the show. He's too good for the world.
And like when they first saw each other and then they were leaving and he was like making her laugh and having so much fun. If they just like go all in and just have fun and enjoy each other, I could really see it. But I think also I don't fully understand her at home situation, but I think
it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, so I'm very interested in how that's fully gonna play
and one
out.
thing, because we've always said like it's like with Netflix and even like Netflix reality as well as like Bachelor, like the girls are always so superior, but I think they really stepped up with the dudes this season on Love is Blind.
Oh yeah, I think the men are superior. Almost.
Brett and Marshall are just so stand up. Paul like has his things, but I still think he's got a head on his shoulders. Like,
well, this is what I'll say. Yes, but no, because freaking they're stupid for who they pick. Yeah, that's all I'll say, though.
That's true.
I mean, because Zach should have been with Bliss and Paul should have been with Amber.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, but actually, would Paul and Amber work?
Amber was kind of a loose cannon, also. Like that awkward moment about when they were talking about cheating. And she's already been married twice. It's a little bit of a red flag. Like, no disrespect to divorces, but like being so young and that many times, like it just like makes me question.
Except for
how seriously she takes it.
I agree and disagree because also it could be she just doesn't know how to pick, but she's a romantic.
you're right.
And so then once she gets married, maybe she's just married really bad guys, and instead of just sticking it out, because it kind of sounded like, I don't know, that it was maybe bad relationships.
No, for sure. Yep. So what are you looking forward to for the rest of the season? Because we will be recapping all the way.
Even though I hate Micah and Irina, I am very interested just what is going to happen next. I want to know if they're going to have a confrontation, if they're still friends, if Irina actually gets with Paul. If I'm very curious about Zach and Bliss now. I think Tiffany and Brett will be like pretty smooth sailing. I think there'll have to be some drama and stuff, but I think that will be pretty good. Kwame and Chelsea, I don't even want to think about them.
So it's going to be a good season. I think it's the best season so far. Like, I think it's just really messy, and I love it. I love how many just overlaps and love triangles there are in the cast. It's going to be great. And now let's get into all things Bachelor. Before we get into the Bachelor recap, let's go over some Bachelor news that actually gets even talked about in AFR, and so we can be all caught up. Katie Bigger has responded to a creator's video about that conversation at the rose ceremony for Fantasy Suites with Gabby and Katie, and Katie commented this. Gabby and I are very close friends. The entirety of that conversation was not shown, so please take a step back and realize that. Thoughts?
Good. I mean, I don't even know why people got so freaking stuck on that. It's just dumb.
No, I didn't see it as shade as all. If anything, I saw it more solidified their friendship because they're touching base and they're like making sure each other's okay and like figuring out what happened to each.
Well, and she even said to Gabby, like, you shouldn't feel that way. So it's like,
I know. And I want to see the full conversation.
Me too.
I would die for that content instead of watching Sean Lowe for the 4th time this season. Then we have, like, shortly after that, all 3 of the top 3 ladies posted the same picture at the same time with the same caption. And it was them, 3 of them at the rose ceremony, and with, like, the little heart hand emojis, 3 of them, so 1 for each. And I love that just, like, solidarity between them, especially when the press is really trying to kind of pull them apart. And when it happened, it did also make me think of, like, okay, does that mean no one's with Zach? Like, what did it make you think?
I kind of saw that because I'm like, oh, well, if one of them was with Zach, then maybe they would be stepping away from the friendship or whatever. But honestly, they were all so close that it was just like, I think the friendships were strong enough to withhold, like, whatever was going to go down. So I actually just kind of was like, cool. Like, good job. Like, stop. Everybody just needs to, like, back off. Like, they're fine. Creating drama that's not there.
I did love it, though, to, like, it really showed a statement. Nothing like that's really happened before. So, I was all about the girl power. And then, I know the last 2 weeks we keep talking about Tayshia and Luke, but they were seen together again. And right now, I'm here to call it. I think they really are dating, and I think we're going to get a hard launch at some point. So we will keep an eye on that for you. And then we got a Bachelor alum getting engaged.
Alexis Waters got engaged to boyfriend Tyler Fernandez after dating for more than 4 years. So that's super exciting.
Yes, and Alexis Waters was the one with the dolphin or shark on night 1.
Shark, I think.
Shark on Nick Viall's season.
So she tweeted this in 2018 when the relationship first started, and I think this is hilarious. I honestly have to thank Caitlin Bristow for not picking Nick Viall, who later became The Bachelor, where I met Rachel Lindsay, who introduced me to my future husband.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so I think that's super cute.
So we know Rachel, Lindsay, and Brian, they're probably going to get invited to the wedding.
For sure. This is not Bachelor news, but did you see that Raven from Love is Blind did like a little soft launch of her new guy? She did a picture. It doesn't show his face, but she has a picture with a guy now.
Oh, so soft launch.
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting because we knew that she was dating someone when she went on the Viall Files. So looks like they're still together. That's exciting. Very exciting.
Totally. All right, and last, I guess, Tina was seen with a lady. I don't care about Tina. So
I don't either, but
someone maybe you guys care. So there's that. Yeah.
All right, and now let's get into the Bachelor finale recap. So it started off with Ariel in the hot seat, which we haven't had like a 3rd place person on AFR in a while.
I think it was very, very necessary because I wanted to know, did Ariel know? Did Zach ever have that conversation with her? Like, what is going on? And so Ariel found out as she was watching the show.
Yeah.
Messed up.
Crazy.
Yeah, he should have just told her when he was sending her home. Like, that wouldn't be that big of a deal.
And Zach came out in the hot seat, and Ariel is so classy, and she's just so intelligent. And the way I want to be Ariel when I grow up. Like, the way I would love to be able to communicate the way she does.
Poise is the perfect word. She has poise.
Yes. And like, she just ate him up alive, but like completely keeping her composure.
And was so kind.
Yes, at the same time.
While holding a very strong boundary of, dude, you are not going to make me feel bad for you. You are not going to turn this on anything other than you suck. And you shouldn't have done that.
And she looked incredible. I loved the white. Like, it was a statement. And it was just all necessary. And it just really made me sad we aren't getting a Bachelor. Like, I think we actually had as much complaints I have about Zach. We had a solid cast this season.
Oh my gosh. We had the best girls that they ever had. And I think that really shows through the season because there was no drama. I mean, there was, but.
Barely. Very manufactured.
Yeah. And I think that they were like all really pretty emotionally mature and like supportive of each other, which does not happen very often.
No. So I'm still petitioning for Ariel to somehow become Bachelorette as well.
And Gabby. I'm down for like literally, I want what Jason Tarnick said. I want all three of them.
Same. I do think Gabby needs to work on herself a little bit. And I mean that in the kindest, like most respectful way, because I think she's fucking amazing. But just to be in not just to be in a relationship, to go through what leads have to go through. I just worry for her a little bit on that one. Ariel, she would
eat those boys for breakfast.
Oh, it would be incredible. Yeah. It would be one of the best seasons in history.
She would not take crap for one freaking second.
I would love every second
of it.
And
I would love to see her open up more because she definitely started to towards the end, but I'd love to see it more and like see some more emotions and stuff.
Yeah, and then we had the top two who are left. They went and met Zach's family, and his uncle was still nowhere to be found. Cusco.
Oh,
I know. It's like
what a missed opportunity.
So missed. So missed.
Maybe he only whips him out when he like needs some clout. I don't know, when he needed to impress, when he needs to impress.
Sure. And I think they both did great with the families. I think Gabby was like made to meet families. She's just so like amazing. But they were a little harder on Katie. Katie, I think, was just like really emotional.
What did you think about Gabby and Zach's conversation before meeting with the parents?
Zach says a lot of words, and I'm gonna like throughout this, like with almost every you asked me how you felt like Zach responded or acted, and all of this whole recap, he says a lot of things that mean nothing. It's like saying a bunch of words that have no meaning. And it's like there's a main issue, and he just walks around it. Yes.
And refuses to really hit the point. He just is like, I want to just make this better. Like, let's just like whatever.
And it's also always me.
Yeah. Like, this is why I did this. This is why da. And the fact that he looks so surprised that she asked if he regretted it is shocking in itself.
Especially the fact like that how that rose ceremony went down at the fantasy suites. We knew that Gabby said like he didn't even look at her. And now we know Ariel didn't even know about what happened in fantasy suites. So that whole speech was for one person.
Yeah.
And it was for Katie. He didn't even look at Gabby. And Ariel is actually on Vile Files. It just came out today on Tuesday as we film this. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but I saw a clip. And he didn't make eye contact with Ariel that entire rose ceremony also.
What in the heck?
It's Zach, so disrespectful to those other ladies, and it's just like it seems mean, and I'm just like not for it. So then we have their final dates. Katie's, I think, was like 5 minutes that we saw, and then it was like the Gabby show. And I guess I was just so set on knowing Katie was the one that I didn't even think for a second it was Gabby. But I guess some people watching it was like edited to where you would think it is Gabby. What do you think?
Yes, I will say that after that date with Gabby, I was like, is he gonna pick Gabby? It was like magical. Like it went so good. And even with his parents, it went so good. So I was like, what? And then like they were kind of showing Katie's with the parents. It was still good. And I bet they showed more of the bad parts. But it didn't seem as good even. Zach has magical sisters. Both of them, they're like, after I talked to your sisters, I am in love with you now.
For sure. Yeah, maybe the editors just like, it's been so obviously Katie all season, so they like had to like overcompensate in the editing when it came to Gabby.
Yeah. I guess Gabby's date was super good until it wasn't, and when he was basically saying that he wasn't sure, she completely just kind of like shut down.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And then their after dinner like little talk powwow thing where they're supposed to basically just say, oh, I love you so much, pick me or whatever. She was just like, dude, is it not me? Like just tell me. Just like she really just wanted to know at this point. And he was like, I don't know. And
he refused.
Yeah. And it was like, did he really know? Because he is so confusing.
He knew.
Well, then why? Did the producers not let him? Or he was just like, oh, this is just how the show goes. I have to pretend.
He's the producer's puppet this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Because a lot of bachelors dump them the day before. They do.
Yeah, they could do whatever they want.
Yeah.
And, okay, fast forward, final rose ceremony. He breaks up with Gabby. And she's like, you've known. And he's like, no, I promise. I just like decided in my bed last night. Yeah, okay. And then on AFR, when Jesse asked when he knew it was Katie, he said, oh, on that final date. The final date was before Gabby's date where he lied to her. And it was also not the night before the final rose. So what is it? Make that make sense. This is, how many times has he lied or said something and his actions have been different? Like, I just don't trust him as far as I could throw him.
Or, here's the only other thing. I always try to defend Zach, and I don't know why. But do you think that maybe they just showed... Because think about this.
That's what Kayla said, too, on Shared.
Yeah, it goes, Gabby's meets his family. Katie's family. Then it goes, Katie having the first date. That doesn't normally happen. So maybe Gabby's date happened first. He really was so conflicted, like, oh, I don't know. And then he went on the date with Katie, and that's what he knew. Because I don't think he's stupid to say two very different things when he obviously has just watched it.
Well, okay, let's bring it back further then, though. Fantasy Suites, only eye contact with Katie. I go far as there, knowing how he handled the Fantasy Suites, that Katie was the one, and he knew.
I think that he knew pretty strongly, but I think that there was still doubt and still, like, I don't know. We've not been in that situation, and I feel like if you had such a freaking good relationship with two people, even if you were a little drawn more to one, you would be like, I don't want to let this other person go. It's selfish. It's not right. I agree with that. But at the same time, that would be so freaking hard.
Okay. After the rose ceremony, he uses her words against her with Gabby and says, you deserve someone who chooses you first. And like her huge thing is being chosen second. So it's like using those words against her in that moment, I did not like. And let's talk about the full Gabby breakup. Let's break it down.
She's like, stop. You don't have to tell me. Stop talking.
I want to go all the way back to her getting out of the car.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. She gets out of the car. The second she steps down into some mud and she's like, don't do that for when Katie gets out. So she was like, I know.
Or when it actually matters.
Oh,
she said too. So she knew. I think the girls listen to your gut.
That whole little speech she gave at the end, I was like, yes.
Yeah,
like,
and he kept like trying to do this like speech he wrote down, and she like wanted nothing to do with it. He didn't care. He wanted to make himself better, make himself look better, and just kept going when Gabby's like, please, like, stop. Like, no. And it was so sad, her like in the car saying like she's unlovable. So like, it just sucks because we love you, Gabby, and you will figure that out soon too. You will figure out how amazing you are, and do that work so that you can find your amazing soulmate.
Yeah, what do you think about her going on to Bachelor in Paradise?
I love it.
Yeah, I think that might be a better vibe for her too.
You're right. Maybe she shouldn't be the Bachelor or the Bachelorette.
I mean, I want her to be, because
she's amazing.
I would love guys to just all be for her.
Yes, I would
just
love
for
that.
her, Yeah, because the Bachelor in Paradise, I think, was going to be rough on her too, though, if she does
Yeah,
go.
if anyone ever hurts her again in on screen that I see, I will kick them in the nuts.
That's got to be in the teaser.
So yeah, that happens, and then we get an after the final rose where she drops some tea.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, actually, I want to say this first. Who was it? I think it was Nick Viall
Okay.
that basically like was the in the past, it used to be fantasy suites. No one knew what happened in there. No one knows if they had sex. No one knows if this. No one knows anything like that. And people don't talk about it. Well, I think it was Nick Viall. Didn't he say, like, we had sex in the, or who was it?
Nick Viall is the
It was
one
like the
who
first
called
time that
out,
ever happened.
yeah, Andy.
Oh, yeah. Andy's
Yes. Season.
Yes. And that was like a big, huge
It was
thing.
huge.
So.
And then Caitlin Bristow right after that when she had sex with Nick Viall before Fantasy Suites.
Yeah, except for that was their own doing, like, for knowing that, like, they were being videotaped. There needs to be, like, there is an unwritten rule that you do not talk about what happens in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that Rachel and Zach made that choice. Something went down in that freaking fantasy suite. Nobody knows. Something went
Ariel
down.
knows.
Ariel knows.
She wouldn't say it, though. But
I still think it had something to do with religion or something like that they disagreed on.
I've been a really skeptic of, like, guys, nothing happened. Like, it is, like, just, it was awkward, it was weird, whatever. I know for sure now, the way that Ariel responded. And she's like, did he like, Nick Viall asks her, she's like, did he open up to you about what happened with Rachel? And she was like, yeah. And then there was just silence, and Nick's like, can you tell us? No. So Ariel, I love it.
Well, maybe Gabby's not going to be so nice.
Oh, I hope so. I want her to tear him apart.
Okay, anyways, though, so yeah, she gets up there, and you just take this away.
It was devastating to see how hurt she is through all this, and you find out that she had no idea that he was going to name her by name and tell Jesse, tell the cameras, tell Katie about what happened, and she found out with everybody else. Awful. The fact that they did not have that conversation before is just so disrespectful and disgusting. And this is
especially when it was his idea. He was brushing his teeth, she was brushing her teeth. He walks up to her and says, "We're going to keep this between us, right?" And kisses her on the back of the head. And she's like, "Yeah, let's keep it between us." And then right afterwards, you go freaking tell Jesse Palmer on camera.
Yeah, no, it's awful. And, like, how many...
If he wanted to tell Katie, then he should have told Katie...
Off camera.
Off camera. Not a problem. Not a problem. And I bet, really, Gabby would have respected that if that's who he was going to choose. Like, whatever.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But no.
He's awful. Like...
There's no right. She even said, like, you guys saw that date, and there was that conversation about sex and the dinner date was literally 5 seconds long. We talked about mental health. We talked about all this stuff. And it's like, you want to know who I'm pissed off at?
Who?
Freaking Bachelor producers, whoever edits this crap. Like, you guys just, like, destroyed this girl. You just, like, made her out to be a slut. She said, like, sex sells. I get it. So it's like, yeah, you guys used him. Zach started it by making the whole week about sex when it didn't even need to be about that. They shouldn't even talked about it. They could have had their own private conversations. Like, he didn't need to make some sort of big grand thing about it.
No.
If he didn't want to have sex, then when him and Ariel went into the room, he should have talked to her about that. When him and Gabby went into the room, he should have talked to her about that. When him and Katie went into the room, they should have talked about that. There should have been no conversation about that on camera, period.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just different also for women versus men in these situations. Like, people are going after Gabby for something private that she did not consent to it being public. Yeah. So it's really awful. And you, like, the hurt on her face was just Like, it was just heartbreaking. And I am
Yeah, she
also
says she feels worse now than she did leaving.
yeah, 'cause she
Like,
didn't know
that
how,
is
like, fucked up it was. And I also wanna
yeah.
touch on Jessie kind of leaving her to the wolves. Didn't really help her guide that conversation when she needed it with Zach. Because even though
Mhm,
already there's, like, small amount of time, right? And then the time that they had could have been used more wisely.
mhm,
And, again, Zach said a bunch of nothing. And
mhm.
did you see the look on her face? I took a picture of it. I'm gonna have it up here on the screen. She was livid, and she didn't get to respond.
Yeah, the whole thing was messed up,
It was
honestly.
so messed up.
I don't know, like, do they not and it's also, like, she did make some comments about, like, the way it was done,
Like with the
like, TV
editors.
show-wise
Mhm.
against them. So, maybe they just wanted to shut her up too, and I'm just,
You know
very
what?
upset.
Maybe. You're probably right.
They didn't wanna give her the space to talk because she's right,
Mhm.
and oh, why are we not talking about this? Mike Fless, whatever,
Oh, yeah.
he's not
He's done
a part of The
so.
Bachelor anymore. Well, maybe that's freaking why, you dingbat.
Yeah, so we're happy. Mike Less is gone. There's gonna be a new creative team moving forward with Charity, and maybe this will be
I
the
mean,
step.
new creative team, old creative team moving up, but
Sure.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
fair, fair. So let's
Yeah.
hope that this makes a positive change in the Bachelor franchise. Okay, this part I don't really care about as much. Okay, Katie and Zach engaged. Cute. They do a fake out, which I hate.
What's a fake out?
When he's like, I can't tell you that I'm falling in love with you. I
Oh,
am
when
in love
you're
with you.
proposing, that's not the time.
No, I would
It's
say
not the time.
no.
Yeah,
No matter who,
no.
even if it was Marcus, if he faked me out like that, I'd say no, and he'd probably not have a penis anymore.
Oh, also, let's go back one more time. When he was talking to Gabby, he was making it sound like a proposal at the beginning. That was messed up.
Everything. And the way she said also, she's like, he knew, like, I begged him to tell me it's not me, but I thought it was me because he didn't say it, and he would never let me go the whole day, hours of interviews, writing out like a speech at the end to just dump me. Oh, wait, that is who he is.
Yeah.
Now you know,
This is one
Gabby.
thing I'm also curious about. Did she talk first, but we just didn't see it? Or did he at least not let her talk first?
Yeah, I don't know.
I hope that's the only teeny little sliver of grace I'll give him, is if at least he didn't make her say all the reasons she loves him to then do that.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. Katie looked gorgeous. I loved her sparkly dress, high ponytail. They came
They all looked
together,
great.
kiss. Yeah. I mean, I think they'll stay together for a while. I think they'll be
I
happy.
surprisingly think so too. Even though, like, it's just the
Yeah.
thing is, I'm not invested and I just don't care about them. But
Yeah.
like, I feel like if they would have broken up, they would have. If they're going to break up, I feel like maybe they would have already with like the past
I
few
think
weeks.
that we have a Lauren Ari situation. I think that we're all gonna hate Zach
Mhm.
for an amount of time
Yeah.
and maybe forever, because he's a little bit worse in my opinion.
Oh, he's so much worse.
But then I don't know. They have kids. They show this stand of time. I mean, I think I might end up loving it.
Yeah, and I think it's actually interesting. It's what Zach's parents said, that it's not in the good times that makes a relationship; it's in the bad times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
For sure.
those Bachelor couples who have had those really bad times at the end, have had it the roughest, are the ones who stand the
Mhm.
test of time, like Ari, like
100%.
Jason Mesnick, etc. And
For
even
sure.
like Clayton and Susie were together probably for longer than they would have if maybe they didn't have that kind of really negative situation. You know, they like leaned on
Yeah.
each other through that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally think that they're probably endgame, and they're
Yeah.
already a step forward. Like, not all Bachelor and Bachelorettes, like, for their plans at AFR say, oh, we're gonna move in together, we're doing this. Like, they aren't even there yet sometimes, and they're full force.
Yeah. Married 2025.
Yeah, and like
Here we
they
go.
said in all the interviews afterwards, like 5-year plan, already have a kid or two. Like, they're put gas on the pedal on the metal, something like that.
Yeah, all right. So let's freaking close this book of Zach being the Bachelor and move on to happier, better things.
Yes, and I love the sneak peek with Charity, and looking forward to that. That will be June 26th, and we will be back with our Bachelor recaps.
We're going to have new episodes every Wednesday and Friday.
Wednesday is reality TV news, and it was Bachelor recaps, but now in the off season, we will be covering Love is Blind. And then every Friday, we'll have Bravo Banter with Kayla, where we go over all of the Bravo headlines and, of course, Scandal updates.
Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit on the bell notification on YouTube, as well as rate and review on Apple Podcast. Email us at stopwearingmyclothespodcast@gmail.com or click on the link below to leave us a voicemail about any of your hot takes, anything that you want to say to us. We are excited to hear it. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at stopwearingmyclothespod, as well as follow us on Twitter at stopwearingmy. We hope you